Well, that was an exciting start to what's going to be a very exciting series. I am Mia Voss. You're here with Inspect.com, and we're doing a series called Grow Your Online Presence. This is for home inspectors. Who's a home inspector here?
I might be.
You might be a home inspector and we have our favorite resident expert. And what is he called? A nugget master? Is that what the Ammon Johns. Ammon, welcome to the show.
Lovely to be here. Thanks.
Well, we've already established that we're very excited because anything that Ammon says, first of all, is going to be super smart. And second, it's going to sound fantastic because he has a fantastic accent. So we only go with the best. All right. So this is the first in our series. Today, we're going to cover, what are we going to cover today, guys? We're going to do sort of an introduction. Is that correct?
Yeah. Let people know what they're going to get out of this series, what we're aiming for, what the purpose is, particularly really underlining that the key thing for all of us here is to make this useful. We all get so many marketing tips all the time that it doesn't apply to us. It doesn't work for us. It's often for some completely different business model. So we want everything here to be useful to our audience, applicable to our audience, and most of all, easy to implement.
Those are sage words. I love anything that's easy to implement because you're right. A lot of time with marketing information, I have to pick and choose through it of like, is this me? And then you're like square peg, round hole the whole time, right?
Yeah, totally.
Let's not do that. All right. But we're going to talk about you for a second. Okay. You got to know why we have him here. Internationally renowned authority in online marketing. He was one of the original pioneers of the field in 1995 and continues to be regarded as one of the most foremost experts in the topic anywhere. Listen to this one. He's consulted for major brands in every market, from global financial institutions to fashion retail, from CNN News to the Royal Bank of Scotland. But what really makes him stand out, like how we're talking about you when you're right here, is his ability to never lose touch with small business, whatever the market sector. His name is mentioned in the textbooks that college students study to learn for internet marketing and is acknowledged as the mentor of many other top names in the business. But his greatest ability is that every time we see him, we learn something that we can use. That's why you're here, gentlemen.
Exactly.
I love his little nuggets because they're always actionable immediately and they're quick. And so you just implement them and then you move forward, always from that point having a better process. It's wonderful.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Now I need to do my share screen here. Dennis is here. Nice to see you, Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis, thanks for popping in very much. Sincerely appreciate it.
He wants to know if we have any checklists for him to follow.
We will be adding those sort of later in the series, but for this first one, we really want to be talking about what's in it for you and the big picture that everything else is gonna build on. Basically, we're doing foundation stuff today.
So we're going to go through that today. And then when we're done, what we'll do is also we'll let you know what we're leading up to. We sent that out in our email, guys, correct? That was basically, giving you an idea of what to expect because it is going to be 10 episodes. Is that correct?
Yeah, is the idea is, but in half-hour segments so that there's small little pieces that you can kind of digest each topic and without getting overwhelming and also we'll have them segmented so that you can stop at certain points and even the 30 minutes and stop and take a break and implement things or come back to things later. We'll make it really well packaged so that it's easy to digest and easy to use.
So the other key thing here as well is that this is going to be interactive and live, obviously. So in the replay, you can ask us questions, but certainly we'd love for you to be, and it's going to be this time every week. So mark your calendar, folks. And in case you don't know who's here at the bottom of the screen, if he's showing up at the bottom of the screen for you, this is Jeff Bond, who is the founder of Inspect.com and also the owner of Inspect.net. Do you want to talk about you just for a few seconds because you're so interesting? Jeff Bond.
Not too long. No, I want to say hi, Mia. Thanks for the introduction, Ammon. I'm so sincerely appreciative you being here. I'm always kind of learning new things, and I keep on pointing these examples. I see 3 fingers pointing back, and I go, I need to learn more. I think this is really my way of giving back to the inspector community is sharing this knowledge, and with my 30 years experience of how I implemented it is tips for people to kind of grow their presence online because things are changing drastically and quickly these days. Really important skill.
It definitely is. And that's the thing, too, people don't realize, especially here in the States, we are super swamped, most of us inspectors. The housing market is on fire. There's so many inspectors out there. So they are super busy, but in the same time too, we need to have the marketing intact and tightened up, right, as I like to say. So that's what we're going to talk about to give you some tips on that too. And then Jeff, at the end of this, let's talk about Inspect.com too, to inform people how they can get signed up and get their inspection business rolling. All right.
Glad to.
All right, Ammon, are you ready to take over on our presentation here for marketing?
Yeah, sure. Marketing is one of those things. It is the word everyone thinks they know, and almost nobody really does understand it. Most people think that marketing is another word for advertising. Marketing is about getting your name out there, doing promotions, that kind of thing, and that isn't what marketing as a function is about at all. Marketing is everything to do with bringing a product to market. The way I like to explain it is, in classic business, you often invented something, somebody wanted to buy it, and you made more of it and then looked for more customers for it. And marketing turns that backwards. It says what you do first is you look for what there is a huge demand for. What are people screaming for that you could make? You get it perfect to what the most people want, the way they want it, the color they want it, the price they want it. And then you've got a product that's going to sell itself. Hundreds of people are already clamoring for this. You're not wasting your time. And I say that marketing is the scientific approach to business. It's just being sensible about business instead of hoping for luck.
To tag on to that to me is I've found is just over 30 years of doing this as a home inspector is that the way that people consume this has changed a lot. Is 30 years ago, I talked to realtors and I got 90% of my business. And now with this shift in the online presence and COVID is I'm getting 80 to 90% of my business online. So it's important to make sure that even if the product demand stays the same, is you're aware of shifts in the demand and where they're coming from. So I'm hoping that people understand that a lot of people are already buying products online at Amazon, but they're starting to buy a lot of services online. And that's what this is here. So it's time to be aware of, if you're selling a service, people are still finding you online.
You have to throw in the know, like, trust factor as well, too.
Yeah.
Can you speak on that real quick, Ammon? With marketing? Yeah.
There are certain things that really push people's buttons. There are things we look for when we're making a purchase. Let's face it, a lot of people are first-time buyers. And first-time buyer, you don't really know what the market is. You don't know everything that's out there. So you look for extra clues. How do I know, as a first-time person meeting Jeff, how do I know that Jeff knows what he's doing? Well, I can look for past recommendations. I can look for ratings. I can look for bodies of trust, trade organizations that he's a member of, the fact that he's listed on Inspect.com. All of those things help me know that it's not just my opinion that he's a nice guy. There's also something to back that up.
That's so critical. Is 20 years ago, people would just trust the realtor to trust me. Now, when people come and talk to me, they know me already. They go, "Hey, Jeff, I like you. I know you." And I'm going, "What do you know?" And they start to speak about things that in reviews they've read and in prior conversations they've had. And I'm going, "This guy knows me. He really knows me." And that's great. Yeah. But it's important to understand that people are doing that background work and being prepared to get the service and products that they want.
Yeah.
Standing out in the market. Oh, go ahead, Ammon. You're the marketing guy.
The biggest things that can drive business, if you're doing it right, is recommendations. Because so many of us, when we don't know what we're going to get, we ask somebody who's already gone through something similar, "What did you buy? What was your product? Was it good?" And if they say, "Oh, I went with this inspector and he was great. He was fantastic. Here's what I got," they're already sold.
They are. And it is about the education piece. And that's what we do want to help inspectors with as well, because as Jeff mentioned, and we've been saying, it's a very crowded market. And we've said it on a couple shows in the past too, that a lot of folks are kind of coming out of the woodwork and just saying, "I'm an inspector," just because they're picky. Right.
And, just to build on, it's just to build on that idea of educating and providing information and value is Dennis is here actually. And he's a role model for me is in terms of his distribution of just wonderful educational content. He never asks for anything, but just delivers that. That's a lot of, I think, part of presenting a product and a service that when people need it, they're going to come to you because you've done that and you treat them respectfully. So I'm appreciative of that, having examples, seeing how to do that right. Hopefully we do it here.
Definitely. Ammon, do you feel like that's something, I know you said that before, that people get mixed up about marketing. You definitely feel like that's something that people are just not doing it right. I'm sure you have some examples of what not to do. And that's how I learn sometimes is what not to do.
A lot of people are doing two big things wrong. Either they're overhyping because their idea of marketing is TV ads, so they try and sound like one. And of course, that it comes across as pushy, it comes across as hyped, it comes across as fake. It's not your authentic voice. It's not you. You're not showing them you. You're showing them this idea of what you would be if you were in a cheesy ad.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not helping. And the other one is that people feel like all marketing is too pushy for them, and so they don't do it at all. And you've got to understand that's not marketing. That's bad advertising. Marketing is building up those recommendations. It's giving people that good experience because you know that's one of the things going to drive business for you. Marketing is having a great relationship with several of the realtors who are going to want to use you again and again because you've built up that trust. It's about being able to demonstrate what you know instead of just telling people that you know everything.
Which is mainly what I see a ton out in the market. That is just that too, of like, okay, I'm going to say these words, almost like a wishful thinking type of thing. And I think that is something specifically with home inspectors. Again, we mentioned this at the beginning. They're so busy. They're out there getting business and they just thinking, I don't need to do anything else. But that's, I know, one of the things, let me pull up this slide real quick, that we are going to be talking about. You're going to talk about the benefits, receive quick actionable tips that you can immediately implement to improve your online presence, and have an opportunity to ask an expert your specific questions.
Yeah, like how about build a network of independent inspectors that can just be independent but can trust each other, and if they have someone in a different location to know that they can refer them. I would like to say Inspect.com worked immensely well last week for me when Ray Carey at Take Care Termite referred one of his realtor clients to me, and the guy sells over 100 homes a year. The top producer and a wonderfully nice guy. I've already done 3 inspections for him. And that comes from just the networking that I've had with Ray and the trust relationship and him knowing that he can count on me to deliver same level of experience and service that he would deliver. So networking is a critical part of marketing, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything that you can do to build up reputation is a huge part of your promotional effort. When we talk about marketing, the traditional thing is the 4 P's of marketing. We call this a marketing mix. And this is what I mean about how marketing is more than just advertising. The 4 P's are product, price, place, and promotion. Promotion is only 1/4 of the mix. And that's all kinds of promotion. When we're talking about product, it's, you're a home inspector, great. Do you want to also do commercial buildings? Do you want to do restaurant inspection? Do you want to do construction sites? All of that is affecting your product, what you're selling and who you're selling it to. Price, how thorough do people need these to be? Do you want to be more than that and charge a bit more? Is there going to be extras that you're delivering that basically just can't be done at the same price as everybody else? Or do you cut a few corners to get the price down to be the lowest price around? That's not always the greatest idea, but it can be very good for people who deal in a lot of volume. Do you offer volume discounts? Once we start playing with price, there's leeway there. And then place, the internet is a place, and that's why we're all here, is how you can use this to extend just, not just your radius, but if people are still having to drop by your office or pick up a phone directory that you were in, that's limited to a place, whereas the internet is available everywhere. Somebody who lives in New York but is moving to Dallas can hire an inspector in Dallas without having to leave New York, whereas that would have been very difficult before the internet.
You're right. You would have either had somebody that lived in the town you were moving to and said, hey, can you look someone up? I mean, that's some old school. We were just giggling in the green room before we had somebody's landline ringing. I'm like, 1995's Colin.
Look,
They want you to pick up,
and that is still difficult today to find a good inspector in a completely different city than maybe where you're relocating to is. And that's one of our major goals, is to just establish a quality standard so that you can find that service at one location. That's a key component of the core, function, what we're trying to do here.
Yep. And that's why we came up with this idea in the first place. So,
Yeah.
Jeff, we can talk real quick. We'll loop back to this topic, but with Inspect.com. So basically what it is, you can get online and you can get listed as an inspector in your different areas. So yes, that's what we're pushing to people, to realtors as well, is get on this website and you're going to find an inspector in your area, but not only an inspector, but somebody that's actually been vetted. And back to this marketing piece, that's the biggest key problem with a lot of things is, one, if you're just a first-time home buyer, like you were saying, Ammon, it's going to be difficult. You don't really know what you're looking for. And that's where people get taken a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is the quality function is really state by state in the United States, because the licensing is controlled that way. And, we had that discussion is in California, there's no license. So your risk goes way up because you don't have a guarantee of quality from some sort of a standards body issuing licenses. And you're much more caveat emptor, is let the buyer beware, and you better beware because it's a major purchase.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get any bigger than that.
No.
Right. Unless you're going with actual business like the home. And that's it. That's part of the, our key factors of what people are looking for. They're looking for shelter, home, acceptance, right? Food, water, the whole thing. That's part of the big top list for sure.
And if you can't solve that one fully, your ability to be productive at work and everything goes down drastically because you're just worried about what's going on at home.
Exactly. So guys, are we going to, I'm going to throw the question out. Are we going to actually be working with somebody one-on-one? Are we looking for someone to guinea pig, so to speak, to be an inspector that we can check out their business?
We can do that. I talked to inspector for an hour yesterday. It's wonderful. Really 30-year seasoned inspector, wants to assist. But what he actually got was, he's doing his website. He's doing all this right now. I just happened to talk to him. So he's engaged, but check this out. He paid $1,500 for a pretty cheesy website. He paid $2,500 for an SEO guy, an expert, to come and give him a list. He said a checklist of things to do, and it's all really good stuff. But just dump it on him and say, here you go. And he's off to do it on his own. He's lost. And
that's right.
So I'm thinking is that what we can do is just kind of engage with him and just streamline and simplify the process for him. And, he can come back and instead of just being lost in that spaghetti, is get some good input. So I'm going to ask him if he would like some help. And if we can help him, I think it'd be great for him.
Yeah. And
here's our final slide. I know we touched on this before, but am I really marketing? You want to chat more on this one, Ammon?
Yeah, sure. It is one of those things. Look, if you've got ads out there, that's great. If you've left your card with a load of realtors, well, that's cool too. But that's not marketing. Marketing goes that step further. Are you targeting the right customers? Let's face it. If you are an inspector, your ideal customer is going to be a first-time single person getting their first home. Why? Because there's a high chance that they're going to meet somebody and move into a place together. There's a high chance that within a few years of that, they're going to have kids and want a bigger place. Right. You're getting 3 or 4 moves out of this one contact. And if they've been happy with you, you're getting them again and again and again. In marketing, this is called customer lifetime value.
Amen.
The second part of customer lifetime value is making sure that they know that you would love them to recommend you to others, and making sure that you are worth recommending, that you've gone that extra distance for them, that you've built up that relationship. The average person, certainly when they're younger, they're moving every few years. You can have somebody who pretty much moves home every 5 years or so.
Right.
that's only becoming more true in our current world where jobs are more transient. Nobody ends up, 5 years down the line, you're not in the same job that you went in on. Usually because the whole department has changed. The job you originally went in on doesn't even exist anymore.
Especially right now. Oh my goodness, we're going to have so much more upheaval and change with the current climate.
Yeah, those generational, they're actually generational, Ammon, is I've inspected for people that, I go do the inspection, and there's a little girl this big living in that little room over there, and then 25 years later, you're inspecting a home for her because she's buying a house. And
That's
it's like,
cool.
as you go right through that whole, I remember when you were that small.
Yeah.
And the trust and the quality, and there's just so much of a relationship there, is that they track you down and they find you. So it's important to understand in this industry is that in my mind, it's about quality, quality, quality. You want to be the best inspector you can be. This is not a volume business marketing problem. This is a quality issue in my mind.
Absolutely. And it's why we structured this series the way we have, where, this week we're letting you know what's coming and why it's important, what marketing is. And next week, we are talking about the real foundation, which is, really knowing what you want to achieve, getting your brand right, building that foundation so that every customer you drive sticks. Because if you're paying $10 a lead through some advertising method, you want to be sure that you're converting as many of them as possible, and that they're the best possible leads. They're the ones with the big jobs, the repeat business, the ones who are going to refer other people. And that's so important.
I don't mind saying that a listing on Inspect.com is free also. It's obviously not like the best, maybe immediate business maker for me, but this is a long-term commitment to making sure that people have good quality inspectors. Yeah. So right now for me is the function that I'm most focused on is finding the quality inspectors and then helping them be a better inspector and to market their services that they're available for people. Is the industry needs to make sure that we work on quality and working together, because there's a lot of consolidation, and this is just my way to try to support that.
It's a very thoughtful way to do business, I feel. So it's not working on the big push. And what I'm loving that some people are doing right now with their business, and hopefully this is going to help them with this series as well, is getting very thoughtful and very, very specific about what your business does, who you want to serve, and what you want to put out there too. And so I'm assuming, I know we're going to be covering sort of that intersection, obviously, between marketing, social media, and PR, because people get really, really confused about that.
Yeah. I mean, these are all parts of that big P of promotion. We're not playing too much with the product. That your inspectors know for themselves, and as the market changes, they'll realize that, hey, there's more demand for this. We will be talking about social listening, which is one of the main uses of social media, is to notice what people are saying they're not able to find. Look for people complaining about a service and what they couldn't get, and it gives you ideas of what to add to future-proof, because things change. Everything changes. The technology changes. The expectation changes. The ways that people do business change, and you've got to always be listening for that.
So not to overwhelm people, because I know that just hearing that sounds overwhelming, but that's what we're going to be serving to you, and nice bite-sized edible and things that you can actually take and translate easily to your business, which again is one of the biggest problems that people find with marketing. There's this big overall message as opposed to it being very, very specific to building a home inspector. So
here's a tasty little bite. For example, is most home inspectors go in as home inspectors, and they ignore the fact that they could double their business by simply inspecting mobile homes. I put up a website for homes, and I'm getting 2,000 contacts a month of people asking about mobile homes, and specifically mobile home roofs, because they're problematic. And guess what? Within the problem is a business opportunity for a solution. So we do mobile home inspections, and we do a lot of them. A whole lot of them. Glad
And
to
I
say.
think we're going to need that a lot more because people are, I mean, again, this is a very chaotic time. People are
Yeah.
changing things up. And obviously, if the market's so hot, that means a lot of people are selling their homes and moving as well. So, guys, how do we get people, how do people get signed up? I mean, obviously, they're going to come here and go to the shows each week, but do we have a newsletter or what are we doing to get people in and get all the info?
Into the website or onto this program in the series?
Onto this program in the series, and then I know we're gonna be having people taking questions. So we are going to have this series, but do we have something on a newsletter as well, or the website that we can sign up for?
Yeah, you can sign up on the website just for a listing. If you're an inspector, it's up at the top right. You can just join immediately. Just put in an order, and then I'll contact you personally and directly. I'll set you up a private drive. You can import your own photos and your own text to get your listing started, and then we'll just make that happen for you. There's no charge. And then for the series is, I feel like I'm pushing if I email too much. So send out 2 emails to a select group of inspectors, and half of them replied. So I think they
some
know.
good numbers, brother. That's
It is.
amazing.
I don't want to bother people too much. So we'll make notice and mention on social channels, but we'll let a lot of this just kind of just get professionally edited and just be a library that people can refer back to. So if they're not available at 3:00 in the afternoon, the Pacific time is they can watch it at their leisure. So we'll make it available for them.
Sounds great. So guys, this gives you an idea of what Inspect.com looks like. You can, if you are looking for an inspector, you can come here. You can go by section, home, termite, roof, communication testing. We have pool inspectors. We have all kinds of fun things going on. So if you're looking for someone in Colorado, for instance, you can put in your region, which is great. I'm going to pop up here because that's where I am. Look,
because you're awesome.
I need to get some more inspectors on here because I am the one lone person that's listed right now in Denver. We know there are a ton. So if you know of any inspectors that you really like, please let us know. But again, we're going to be doing this every week. This is the first of a 10-week series. So pretty exciting. And then we will put out here on Facebook and on YouTube what the upcoming subjects are going to be. So any other last parting words, guys?
I would say simply stick with us. We're going to have a very interesting ride here, and starting next week, everything is going to be about finding things you can use right now to help you grow your business. And
that's all you needed to say.
Like I should say is that especially in these changing times is if there was ever an opportunity to make a radical change and shift in your business and move forward into the future with at a period of strong transition, this is probably one of the best market changes I've ever seen in as long as I've done this in this industry.
And we're long in the tooth. So when we say that, we really mean it. We've been around, folks.
Stop.
In a good way, All right. So go to Inspect.com if you'd like to sign up as an inspector. Come here on Facebook this time next week. And I'm going to be posting the link to the next show. So you can just click a little button that says remind me. And we'll all 3 be back here with bells on. So we'll see y'all next week. Thank you. Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks,
See you guys.
Bye.
Later.